GM, everybody, welcome to the Daily GM with me, crypto trader Simon. Let's get straight into it, and we can see that Bitcoin is following our path here, starting to push back up to the sort of 68, 60, well, close to the 69 level. I think, as I said yesterday, that we will consolidate at these prices, probably in a range now between the local high of 69.5 and say 65 on the downside. I wouldn't expect Bitcoin to break out of this range probably until the first or second week in November. So at the moment, we're seeing some consolidation across the market, and some altcoins are starting to also chop. Some are coming off slightly today, but I really think that this is the area to really lock in, and this is probably the last point to accumulate crypto before things really start to take off in the later stages of Q4 and probably continuation into Q1 next year. Obviously, yesterday I touched upon the dollar as well, that was starting to sort of find a little bit of resistance now from the session tomorrow. Obviously, it had pushed up, but I was saying I expect that the dollar will start to show a bit more weakness going into the end of the year, which should be good for Bitcoin and other risk assets. And we can see that a couple of days ago, we did print a Tom DeMark 9 reversal on here. We're also coming into this 618 area of resistance. We've actually gone through, and you find this happens quite often in markets, that when you've got quite a sort of bigger level, obviously this looks like a counter trend rally to me. People will want to get positioned here when the price actually goes through. That catches the liquidity above this level. So you would have had some stop losses from short orders here. You would have probably had some limit longs, people that are looking to now run this to the 786. And obviously the market has reversed and looks to actually flush these traders out and then catch the liquidity now the other way. Now that people have obviously gone long, but have been stopped out shorts, it will now actually punish the longs and come down. So it could be that we actually see the dollar start to find resistance and make its way down over the next couple of months. And remember, this is even though the correlation is not completely positive between Bitcoin and the dollar, both can rally, and we've seen both rally over the last month, but we'd expect a decline in the dollar to actually provide a nice tailwind to cryptos and to get those really explosive moves and those sort of bigger, longer time frame breakouts, which we're on the verge on right now with Bitcoin. I would expect to see some dollar weakness to help catapult Bitcoin up. So keep an eye on that. The other one we can keep an eye on is also the NASDAQ. So we can see the NASDAQ is actually sort of leading slightly Bitcoin. It's actually got above its sloping diagonal here and seems to be consolidating. And similar to crypto, I'd expect the NASDAQ and also the S&P probably to consolidate very close to their highs. And I wouldn't be surprised if actually we see new all-time highs for both stocks and crypto following the US presidential election. It's no secret that Donald Trump is currently in the lead in terms of the betting markets, and also many of the polling numbers for swing states are actually putting Trump quite clearly ahead. So we can only see whether those polls and betting markets end up being correct or not. But certainly from a investing perspective, I think it's no secret that Donald Trump is more pro-business and would be better in the short term for the stock market. However, I do believe that either way, whoever wins that election race will the market will respond positively because the market likes certainty. Right now, it's uncertain. The market is trying to, starting to price in a Trump win to an extent. We've seen a reaction from things like banking stocks. We've seen a reaction from other stocks that Trump should be good for. What we now need to actually have is clarity and certainty of that result to then enable the market to overcome any fears or doubts about that event. So even though it's looking likely for now, the market will be a little bit jittery until it gets confirmation of that. And we can very briefly also have a look at Ethereum. So we can see Ethereum. It was in a downsloping channel similar to Bitcoin. I'll get this chart cleared up very soon, but we can see that we actually came down, we deviated below, we chopped around, came all the way down close to the $2,000 level, and we've actually regained that channel. So even though Ethereum has been lagging, I still think Ethereum at a point will start to outperform Bitcoin. Ethereum, Bitcoin's been getting absolutely hammered, and I do think at a point we'll see Ethereum start to turn around. Obviously, Ethereum still has lots of narratives going for it in terms of TVL locked up. It's the highest of any chain. It also has the ETF as well. So I think Ethereum will still be a beta play to Bitcoin throughout the rest of the bull run. Obviously, we'd expect until Bitcoin breaks out from all-time highs, Ethereum to underperform. And then once Bitcoin's pushing through new all-time highs, that final phase of the bull market, this is when we see altcoins really start to outperform, and Ethereum tends to be the leading indicator for the altcoin market to really surge against Bitcoin. So I do think that will still happen slightly later on in the cycle. And I've said this before, but I think we've still got up to another year left of the bull run. So that might happen in the next month. It might happen in 3 months. It could even happen in 6 months. But I do think at some point that will happen. And I've also got to mention Solana. So Solana looking really strong. Solana's finally seems to have broken out decisively from this downsloping trend line, and really we've got this range in play now between around the 200 area and the 110 area. Obviously Solana coming down, sort of tapping that on the capitulation in August, and since then it's just been building out market structure. The chart started to look really healthy, getting back into the top half of its overall range, and I do think Solana is probably going to be the best performer out of the three majors for the remainder of this cycle. So it does form a fairly large holding of mine at the moment. So I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you for watching. Like I say, these videos will be coming every single day. So I would ask you to please, if you enjoy the content, do support the channel, hit the like, please subscribe if not done so already, and I will speak to you hopefully tomorrow. GM.